Bear here with another episode of Homesteading the Desert on November 24th, 2017. This is where my water tank is, and now you see I've put myself a set of stairs and a second level up there where that's 5 feet off the ground on the platform, and that's where the water guy will climb up to fill the tank. We'll go up the stairs here. This thing is built real sturdy, nothing to worry about, not shaking or anything, and it's bolted to the pedestal down below. But here's my eye level, so you can see I'm higher than the tank. And here's my fill opening, so I'm all set to get filled up, and this screws on like this and locks down tight. I may even end up putting a hasp on there so I don't have to worry about anybody else opening it up. But if I did that, I'd have to go across the whole unit, so it might take a little bit of innovation when I get to that point. We'll see. Anyway, wanted to show you from up here. I got one hell of a view. I can see out over the valley and right over the top of my container, right over to my cabin roof. Let me zoom that, and all the way out past, and there's my homemade antenna up there on the cabin. Still working great. And as you can see, the winds have returned. The turbine is running, but it's not putting out very much electricity. There's something wrong here. Because before the wind started, with just solar, my batteries were showing a better charge than with the turbine running all day long. It's lower. Remember, I've been showing you it's been up at 13.8 and so all along, and right now it's down to like 12.7. So I don't know what's going on there. I got to get rid of that little tiny junk turbine and go for the 1685 watt big 6 foot 7 or 6.5 foot span on it. That one should put out a lot of power for me, and it's a 2-wire. This is a 3-wire. I was talked out of going 3-wire to going 2-wire, and I've got to run heavier cable, but my friend Vince gave me a couple of spools of number 6 stranded, so that'll work great for that. Anyway, here's my staircase, and this thing is nice and sturdy. I took my time building it. I had to go buy some more lumber this morning because I was a little bit low. And as you can see, I got my filter into place there, and the lines and everything protected. And later on, I will close the sides of this in. We're going to have some extra siding left over from building. And I'll put a door on the front here with a lock, and I'll be able to close it up so nobody will be able to get to my filter or my valve. Although, like I said, nobody's been up here, nobody's been doing anything, so it's pretty good, secure. I just want to double protect it, and then I could also store some things in here, like some chlorine and extra filter cartridges, things like that. Now this is just a sediment filter, and like I said, it's a repurposed jacuzzi filter with a new pleated cartridge in it. And this just takes out any sediment that might get into the tank before it runs down and gets into my plumbing lines. And then I come out with 1.5 inches, and I go into 1 inch, which runs all the way underground. And as you can see, it's all been backfilled. I haven't run the drag sled over it yet, but I did run it through here and cut the new road for the water truck. And we'll move on down there to the shower area. I've got my spare water barrel that I brought up with me. I only brought up one this time because I was pretty much loaded, bringing the tank up and everything. But this 20 gallons will go up tomorrow morning, and I'll get that up into the 2 bottles up there. And what I found is I've been taking outdoor showers here in November. It's been beautiful weather. Right now it's still about, I would say, 82 or so. I'll be taking a shower in a little while. Even though the wind's blowing, it's very warm. I'm walking around with my shirt off, and I've got the two valves up there. And what I found is here in the wintertime, if I close off the blue barrel or the cold water side right there at that valve and just leave the hot water side on, then I'm feeding just the hotter water down, and that water's coming out at about, I'd say 88, 89, so maybe even 90 degrees right now in November. So that's a pretty good thing, and I'll tell you, it sure feels good getting all cleaned up, getting the sawdust off of me. And out of that 100 feet, all I have left is this little 5-foot piece, and that's a piece of 3/4 that I had to cut off. That was a little bit too much for what I needed where I did my tie-in, which is below ground right here. And everything is all taped up with ABS tape, so I don't have to worry about it. I've got my new shutoff valve right there, so once I open the water tank up there, I'll shut that valve off, and then these two here will feed just the shower and the outdoor sink, as I said before. But got all that done, and then the last thing I did here was, I didn't like my old clothesline over there. It served its purpose when I was staying in the motorhome, but now that I've moved into the cabin and the motorhome has become a guest room, I'll leave the little clothesline up there for anybody that comes up to stay and wants to hang something out and air it out during the day. But I put myself up an old-fashioned clothesline, just like my dad did for my mom when I was a kid growing up. And this one's on pulleys. So I start at this end right here, which is connected to the porch. And while standing on the porch, I can hang my clothes on the line right there, and then keep pushing it out. There's my clothespins. I found those over at the dollar store yesterday, so I bought a pack, and that cost me a whole $1.69. So those will get some good use out of them. And I've got to make these little trolleys that go on this line, and it hooks the two lines together so that the bottom line doesn't sag way down low from weight. It uses both lines as a little bit more strength. And I'll make a couple of those trolleys up. I still remember what they look like, and I shouldn't have any problem at all making a couple of wooden ones. And I remember my mom had wooden ones outside, and there used to be, like right here outside the door, used to be a bag where all the clothespins stayed in, and the trolleys were stuck in there too. So as you put out some clothes, you put the trolley on after about 5 or 6 items of clothes, then you put some more clothes on, and then about 5 or 6 items, and you put another trolley on, and it keeps the lines together and up tight. So I got that up pretty high. That's about 7.5 feet above the ground. And I'll be able to drive under it with the ATV and all that stuff, no problem. That's about it. Today was Black Friday shopping, and I waited until 9:30 to head over to Home Depot, and there was no traffic going out of here, but coming the other way, coming from the OC up this way, it was a steady stream of campers and motorhomes and cars just non-stop all day long. And when I got back here from Home Depot about 10:30, down at the bottom of the road down there, there was about 3 or 4 campers parked, and guys with dirt bikes were riding up and down the dirt roads here. Nobody came over by me, but they stayed to the other side of me. Just wanted to show you all that. My aloe vera plants I brought up with me are doing great. They're loving it here, and that one I saved by getting it up high is coming back to life and sprouting new fronds. So my secret is to keep them up off the ground so the critters can't get to them. G-Bear, going for a cold one, signing off from the desert.